sweet like a buttercup. You're a Barbie doll. Show them all what I'm made of. Strut down the hall. Won't stop till I get enough.
All right, tennis fans, get ready because today we are diving deep into the Sinner-Shelton semifinal match at the Australian Open.
It's looking like quite the showdown.
On paper, it seems like your classic David versus Goliath.
Right.
But I think there's a lot more to unpack here than just rankings.
Yeah, definitely. We've got this Forbes article that really digs into some of the storylines surrounding this match.
And that's what we're going to do today. We are going to deep dive into this article.
Absolutely.
And really break it down for you guys.
I'm excited.
So let's start with Sinner.
Okay.
I mean, this guy is an absolute machine.
Yeah.
Ranked #1 in the world right now.
He's on fire.
Hasn't lost on hard court in what seems like forever.
It's been a while.
And he just steamrolled Deminar in the quarters.
Yeah, he made it look easy.
Even Renee Stubbs, she called him a robot on ESPN.
I saw that.
But what makes him so formidable on this surface? It can't just be power.
It's not just power. No, you're right. It's more nuanced than that. I think Sinner's dominance on hard court comes from like a perfect storm of factors.
Okay, lay out on me.
Okay, so first, his ground strokes are incredibly deep and penetrating.
Oh yeah, they are.
He just consistently pushes his opponents behind the baseline.
So he's dictating the pace of play right from the get-go.
Exactly. Second, his footwork is phenomenal.
Yeah.
He covers the court like a cheetah, retrieving shots that would be winners against almost any other player.
So he just wears down his opponents.
Exactly. He extends those rallies and just kind of grinds them down.
And on top of all of that, doesn't he also have this insane record against American players in majors?
He does?
Like, has he ever lost to an American in a Grand Slam?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
He's 14-0 against Americans in majors.
Wow.
So that's something.
Is it a mental edge? Is there something about his game that is particularly troublesome for American players?
It's hard to say for sure if it's a mental edge. But I think his style with those deep ground strokes and that relentless consistency, I think it might be particularly troublesome for the traditional American game, which often relies on, big serves and aggressive baseline rallies.
Right. Okay. So how does Shelton, the underdog in this scenario, how does he even begin to challenge that?
Yeah, it's a tall order for sure.
His serve is obviously a huge weapon, but can that alone disrupt Sinner's rhythm?
Well, we've got Brad Gilbert and James Blick.
Two very respected voices in the tennis world.
Yeah, both weighing in on this.
So they know what they're talking about.
And they both emphasize just how crucial Shelton's serve will be in this match.
Okay.
That left-handed delivery creates these really sharp angles that are just so tough to handle, especially on a fast surface like hard court.
Oh, yeah. And Gilbert even said that Shelton needs to hit at least 25 aces to have a chance.
At least.
I mean, is that even realistic?
It's a lot of aces.
Yeah.
But it really highlights just how much pressure Shelton needs to put on Sinner's service game.
Right, because Sinner is known for having one of the best returns in the world.
One of the best.
But if Shelton can consistently land those bombs, it could force Sinner into some uncomfortable positions and maybe induce a few errors.
Exactly. Force some errors, yeah.
But surely Shelton can't just serve his way to victory.
I don't think so.
Even the hardest serve can be neutralized if it becomes predictable.
You're absolutely right. That's where variety comes in.
Yeah.
And Blake actually pointed this out, that if Shelton becomes one-dimensional, just going for that 140-mile-per-hour bomb every time, Sinner will eventually adjust.
Right.
And he'll start picking it off.
He's too good for that.
Yeah. So he needs to mix it up.
Got to keep Sinner guessing.
Exactly. Throw in some sliders, some kickers, anything to keep him off balance.
Think of it like a pitcher in baseball.
Exactly.
If they only threw fastballs, no matter how fast, eventually the batter is going to time it.
Yeah. They'll figure it out.
And the good news is, it sounds like Shelton is aware of this. He admitted that he didn't serve as effectively in his quarterfinal match and that he needs to adapt against Sinner.
Which is a good sign.
Very good sign.
Yeah.
But let's be honest.
Yeah.
Reaching a Grand Slam semifinal in only your second major tournament appearance.
That's impressive.
That is a meteoric rise.
Yeah, it really is. It's remarkable. And I think it kind of speaks to this larger trend that we're seeing in men's tennis right now.
A resurgence of American men's tennis.
Yeah. For a while there, it felt like American men were struggling to keep pace with the global elite.
Totally. And now you've got Shelton in the semis.
Yeah.
Fritz and Paul are both in the top 10.
Yeah.
And these young guns like Lerner Tien and Alex Michelson, they're pulling off upsets against top seeds.
Upsets left and right.
What is fueling this American tennis renaissance?
I think there are a few factors at play. One is the emergence of these incredibly athletic and powerful players like Shelton.
He's a beast.
He really is. He embodies this new breed of American talent. Big serves, aggressive ground strokes, and a fearless attitude.
It's like they're not intimidated by the big stage. They're embracing it.
Exactly. And then you have players like Fritz and Paul who have added more consistency and tactical awareness to their games.
Right, so they're not just relying on power, they're playing smarter.
Exactly. And they're making fewer unforced errors.
So it's a combination of raw talent and refined strategy.
Precisely. And I think another factor is the overall strength of American tennis development right now. There's a greater emphasis on junior development programs,
Okay.
better coaching, more opportunities for young players to compete at a high level.
So it's like creating a pipeline of talent.
It is. It's starting to feel like the golden age of American tennis, like the Agassi-Sampras era.
It really is exciting. Do you think we could actually see 3 Americans in the top 10 soon?
I think it's definitely within the realm of possibility. I mean, we're seeing a level of depth and consistency in American men's tennis that we haven't seen in years.
Right. It's not just about rankings. It's about this belief, this swagger that these players are bringing to the court.
They have a swagger for sure.
They're not just happy to be there. They're going after it.
Yeah, and that's a game changer. That mentality can be contagious, and it can inspire a whole new generation of American players.
To strive for greatness.
Absolutely. It's a really exciting time to be an American tennis fan.
It is. But before we get carried away with the American dream,
Right.
there's another side to this story that we need to address.
Okay.
And that is Shelton's comments about the Australian Open announcers.
Oh, yeah. This is a bit of a heavier topic.
Yeah, Shelton recently criticized some of the commentary during the tournament.
He did.
Calling it negative and disrespectful.
Mm-hmm.
And he specifically referenced that incident involving Novak Djokovic, where the commentator seemingly mocked Djokovic and his fans.
Yeah, I remember that.
And it upset Djokovic so much that he actually skipped his post-match interview.
He was pretty upset, yeah.
And then Shelton even shared a personal story about a commentator making an inappropriate comment about Gail Monfils' age.
Oh, really?
Yeah, suggesting that he might be Shelton's father.
Oh, wow, that's awkward.
That's just awkward and unprofessional.
Yeah, it does raise the question of where's the line between insightful commentary and just, negativity or personal attacks.
Totally.
Yeah.
I mean, sports should be about celebrating athletic achievements, not tearing players down.
I agree.
So do you think Shelton's comments point to a larger issue in sports media?
It's hard to say for certain based on a few isolated incidents.
Sure.
But his willingness to speak out, especially as a young player, suggests that this might be a more widespread concern.
Right. It's a conversation worth having.
Definitely.
What kind of environment do we want to create for athletes?
That's the question.
It's a valid point. It's not just about tennis. It's about fostering a culture of respect in sports media.
Right. And it's about the messages that we send to young athletes coming up through the ranks.
Exactly. Do we want them to feel supported and celebrated? Or are we going to create an atmosphere of cynicism and negativity?
It's a choice we have to make.
These are important questions that deserve further exploration, but for now, let's shift gears and delve into a topic that's been on my mind.
All right, I'm listening.
We've talked a lot about the physical and technical aspects of tennis,
Right.
but what about the mental side of the game?
Oh, that's huge.
It seems like that's often overlooked, but it's just as crucial for success at the highest level.
It is. Tennis is so demanding mentally,
I can't even imagine.
You're out there on an island facing your opponent one-on-one, and every point feels magnified.
Oh, I bet.
The pressure, the expectations, the constant scrutiny, it can really take a toll.
Especially in a Grand Slam.
Oh, yeah.
Millions are watching.
Millions.
The stakes are so high.
And one bad day can send you packing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So how do these players cope with that pressure?
Well, it's about developing mental resilience, learning to manage your emotions, staying focused under duress,
Right.
and bouncing back from setbacks.
Easier said than done, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But more and more players are recognizing the importance of mental training.
Okay, so what does that look like?
They're working with psychologists, meditation coaches, other specialists to develop techniques for managing stress, improving focus, and building confidence.
So it's like they're training their minds as rigorously as they train their bodies.
Exactly. And we've seen players like Sinner who seem to have this almost unshakable mental fortitude.
Right. He rarely shows any signs of frustration or doubt, even when he's facing adversity.
That's impressive. He just keeps going.
He's that robot again.
Yeah, there's a certain truth to that. Sinner's consistency and his ability to just stay focused point after point is incredible.
Yeah, but is it possible that even robots have moments of doubt?
Oh, of course. Even the most mentally tough athletes experience doubt and frustration.
So how do they handle those moments?
It's all about how they manage those emotions. Do they let those feelings derail them, or do they find a way to channel them into positive energy?
So it's turning negative emotions into fuel, into motivation to play even harder.
Exactly. And it's also about harnessing those positive emotions like joy and excitement,
Right.
and using them to elevate their game.
I mean, think about Shelton's run to the semis. He's playing with this infectious joy and freedom.
He is. It's fun to watch.
It's like he's genuinely having fun out there,
Yeah.
which must be incredibly difficult given the pressure.
It's not easy, but that energy can be a game changer both for the player and the fans watching.
Totally.
You know, when a player is truly enjoying themselves, they often play their best tennis.
They're loose.
They're more relaxed, more creative, and more willing to take risks.
So in this semifinal, we have Sinner, the mentally tough, machine-like competitor,
Right.
against Shelton, the young, exuberant talent riding this wave of positive energy.
Yeah.
Such a fascinating clash of styles and personalities.
It really is. And it reminds us that tennis is more than just a physical contest.
Right.
It's a battle of minds, a test of character, a display of human emotion.
And sometimes those human elements are the most compelling aspects of the sport.
For sure.
The passion, the resilience, the moments of vulnerability and triumph. That's what connects it to these athletes and makes us care about the outcome.
Absolutely. And it makes you wonder if Shelton were to pull off this upset.
Could this be the start of something bigger for American men's tennis?
Yeah, a major power shift.
Or is Sinner's dominance just too much to overcome? Will he continue his winning streak and solidify his place as the king of the hard court?
Those are the questions we'll be exploring further when we come back after the break.
Stay tuned, folks. This deep dive is just getting started. We're back, and I am still buzzing about this clash of styles
Yeah.
in the Sinner-Shelton matchup.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
You know, it's not just about who has the bigger forehand or the faster serve.
Right.
It's about the mental game,
The mental game is huge.
the ability to handle the pressure cooker
Oh,
of
yeah.
a Grand Slam semifinal.
For sure.
And we were just discussing this.
Yeah.
Sinner's almost robotic consistency,
Right.
and then Shelton's infectious joy.
Yeah.
But how do those mental approaches, how do they actually play out on the court?
Well, so imagine you're Shelton. Okay. We're facing Sinner, the world #1, on a massive stage like Rod Laver Arena.
Oh my gosh.
The crowd is roaring, the pressure is immense, and Sinner just hit like an unbelievable passing shot winner.
Yeah.
How do you react?
I think my instinct would be to get frustrated.
Yeah.
Maybe even dwell on that amazing shot for a little bit too long.
Yeah, that's a natural reaction,
Yeah.
but for a top player, it can be really detrimental.
Okay.
Mental resilience is about acknowledging those emotions but not letting them control you.
Okay.
It's about immediately shifting your focus to the next point,
Okay.
not letting the previous point, whether good or bad, affect your mindset.
So you're saying it's almost like an athlete's version of mindfulness?
But exactly, you need to be present in the moment, focusing on the task at hand, and Sinner excels at this.
You does.
He rarely shows any outward signs of frustration,
Right.
and he never celebrates excessively after winning a point.
He just moves on to the next one like a machine.
Exactly. That unwavering focus is a huge asset.
But on the other hand, Shelton's exuberance, his ability to like channel that positive energy,
Right.
that's also a really powerful tool.
It is. It can be incredibly uplifting.
Yeah.
Not just for him, but for the crowd as well.
And I feel like when you see someone out there who's genuinely enjoying the competition,
Yeah,
it makes you as a viewer more invested in the match.
for sure. And that energy can actually translate into momentum swings.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay.
A few fist pumps, a smile after a great point, it can energize a player
Yeah.
and potentially even rattle their opponent.
So both approaches have their strengths.
Yeah,
It's almost like a philosophical debate.
it is.
Stoicism versus passionate expression.
That's a great way to put it. And it's not that one approach is inherently better than the other.
Right.
It's about what works best for the individual player.
So what's fascinating is that both Sinner and Shelton have, in their own way, mastered their respective mental approaches.
They have. And that's why I think this match is so compelling.
Yeah.
It's this battle of contrasting styles, not just physically, but mentally as well.
And, you know, you mentioned earlier that more and more players are turning to mental coaches and specialists.
They are.
It makes sense. But I have to admit, It wasn't that common back when I was following tennis more closely.
Yeah, it's definitely become more prevalent in recent years. I think players are realizing that mental training is just as crucial as physical training.
Right.
You know, they're working on mindfulness techniques, visualization exercises, strategies for managing pressure and staying focused.
It's a whole other side of the sport.
It is, and I wonder if that has something to do with the younger generation of players being more open about mental health and seeking help when they need it.
It's possible.
There's definitely less stigma surrounding mental health in general.
Right.
And athletes are no longer expected to be these emotionless machines, you
Yeah.
know? It's okay to acknowledge vulnerabilities and seek support.
It's human.
Exactly. And I think that can only benefit the sport in the long run.
For sure. But let's not forget about the other major narrative
Right.
surrounding this match.
The American resurgence.
The resurgence of American men's tennis.
Yes.
You've got Shelton in the semis.
Right.
Fritz and Paul are both in the top 10.
Yep.
This whole wave of young players making noise.
It's exciting.
If Shelton pulls off this upset, could it be a turning point? A sign that American men are back on top of the tennis world.
It would be a huge statement, no doubt. But let's put it in perspective.
Okay.
While it's really exciting to see this American resurgence,
Yeah.
the reality is that men's tennis is still incredibly competitive globally.
So you're saying don't get ahead of ourselves.
Exactly. We've seen these moments of hope for American men's tennis before,
Okay.
only to be followed by periods of disappointment.
Right.
Remember the Andy Roddick era?
Oh, yeah. Cool.
He won the U.S. Open in 2003,
Right.
but after that, it was a long drought for American men at the Grand Slams.
What makes this moment feel different?
That's the question.
Why are people so optimistic?
Well, I think it's the depth of talent,
Yeah.
the variety of playing styles, and the sheer hunger that these players are displaying.
Yeah, you can see it.
It's palpable. We're not just talking about one or two standout players.
Right.
We're seeing a whole generation of talented Americans pushing each other to be better.
Like a rising tide lifts all boats.
Exactly. You've got the power servers like Shelton,
Right.
the all-court players like Fritz the Grinders, like Paul,
Yeah.
and then you have these young guns like Tien and Mickelson,
Yeah.
who are fearless and talented, and they just seem to thrive on the big stage.
It's a potent mix.
It is. But talent alone isn't enough.
So what else needs to happen for American men to consistently challenge for Grand Slam titles?
I think consistency is key. They need to perform at a high level week in and week out.
Not just have flashes of brilliance.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they need to develop the mental fortitude to win those crucial points in big matches.
So it all comes back to that mental game.
It always does. And I think the experience that these young players are gaining by competing against the best in the world,
Yeah.
like Djokovic, Nadal, and now Sinner,
Right.
is invaluable.
Oh, for sure.
They're learning what it takes to win at the highest level, both physically and mentally.
It's like trial by fire.
It is.
But it's forging this new generation of battle-tested American players.
For sure. And don't underestimate the impact of having role models like Fritz and Paul.
Right. They're already established in the top 10.
Exactly. Their success shows these younger players what's possible, and it creates a pathway for them to follow.
So it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. Success breeds more success.
Exactly. And that's why I think this Sinner-Shelton matchup is so significant.
Regardless of the outcome.
Regardless of the outcome, it's a marker of how far American men's tennis has come
Yeah.
and a glimpse into its potential future.
It's more than just a tennis match. It's a symbolic clash
It is.
between the established order and the emerging force.
I like that.
Yeah.
And it makes you think, even if Shelton doesn't win this time, what's to stop him from reaching a Grand Slam final in the near future?
Right.
Nothing, in my opinion. He has the talent, the drive, and the mental strength to be a major force in men's tennis for years to come.
And who knows? Maybe he'll even inspire the next generation of American tennis champions.
Now, wouldn't that be something?
It'd be a story for the ages. But let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Right.
We've got a semifinal to analyze.
Yes, we do.
We've covered Sinner's dominance, Shelton's remarkable rise,
Right.
the American tennis renaissance, and the mental game.
We've covered a lot.
But we're not done yet.
There's more.
There's one more crucial element that we need to consider,
Okay.
and it might surprise you.
I'm intrigued. Lay it on me.
Okay, so we've talked about Sinner's dominance and Shelton's just incredible rise.
Right.
The American tennis renaissance, the mental game. What else is there? What else could possibly be crucial in this matchup?
Well, we've been focusing a lot on like the individual players,
Right.
but there's another factor that I think often gets overlooked.
What's that?
The crowd.
The crowd. Really?
Yeah.
I mean, sure, a rowdy crowd can get a player fired up,
Right.
but I wouldn't say it's a game changer.
It's more than just noise. The crowd can be a really powerful psychological force,
I see.
especially in a Grand Slam environment.
Right, where the stakes are so high.
Exactly. So how do you think the crowd factors into the Sinner-Shelton match specifically?
I mean, I guess you've got Sinner,
Right.
who, despite being ranked #1 in the world,
Yeah.
isn't exactly known for his, crowd-pleasing style.
Not really.
He's efficient. He's clinical.
Almost robotic.
Yeah, he's a robot.
Yeah.
He doesn't really engage with the crowd or show a lot of emotion out there on the court.
He's all business.
Get the job done, no fuss.
Exactly. Now, Shelton, on the other hand,
Oh, yeah,
he thrives on that energy,
does.
and his style is just naturally more flamboyant.
Is
That massive lefty serve,
Oh, yeah.
the powerful forehand, the occasional diving volley.
It's exciting to watch,
It's fun, and I think the Australian Open crowd,
which is known for being particularly enthusiastic,
oh yeah, they love their tennis.
could play a significant role in this match.
My thing.
So if they really get behind Shelton, roaring with every ace and every winner, it could create this wave of momentum that's tough for Sinner to overcome.
For sure.
So the crowd could be a sort of X factor for Shelton.
It could be. It's definitely a possibility. That energy from the crowd can be infectious.
All right.
And it can feed into a player's confidence and belief.
But on the other hand,
Yeah.
if the crowd is quiet or even starts to turn against a player,
Ooh.
that can be incredibly demoralizing.
It can be brutal.
It's almost like a home court advantage,
Right.
even though neither player is Australian.
Exactly. It's not quite the same.
Right.
But the principle is similar. The crowd's energy can create this psychological advantage for one player over the other.
So you're saying these subtle factors that can actually influence a match.
Absolutely.
I mean, it makes you realize that tennis is so much more than just a physical contest.
It is.
It's mental, it's emotional.
It's a battle of wills.
It really is. And that's why this Sinner-Shelton matchup is so intriguing.
It is.
We've got these contrasting styles,
Right.
these different personalities. And now we're adding in this whole other layer of the crowd dynamic.
Exactly.
It's almost Shakespearean.
It's a little bit.
The stoic champion
Right.
versus the passionate young challenger with the crowd as the chorus,
I would love that analogy.
influencing the narrative.
So what if Shelton pulls this off?
What if he wins? What would it mean for the future of American men's tennis?
I mean, it would be seismic. It would be a seismic shift.
Right?
It would prove that he can beat the very best in the world,
Yeah.
but it would also send this message to the rest of the field that American men are back.
They're a force to be reckoned with.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it would be a validation of
Yeah.
all the hard work and dedication that these young American players have put in.
It would be a sign
It would.
that the American tennis renaissance is more than just a blip on the radar,
Right.
that it's a sustained resurgence,
It would give hope to all those aspiring young players out there.
showing them that anything is possible.
Exactly. Imagine a young kid in Florida just starting to play tennis, watching Shelton lift that trophy.
I get chills just thinking about it.
It would be a moment that transcends sport,
Yeah.
a testament to the power of dreams and hard work.
But even if Shelton doesn't win this time,
Right.
his journey to the semis is still a remarkable achievement.
It is. It shows that he's on the right track,
Yeah,
that he has the potential to achieve great things.
absolutely. So we've had an incredible deep dive
We have.
into this semifinal matchup.
Yeah,
I mean, we've covered everything
I think so.
from playing styles to the mental game to the influence of the crowd.
We left no stone unturned.
And I think we've gained a deeper understanding not just of Sinner and Shelton as individual players,
Right.
but also of the broader landscape of men's tennis.
It's an exciting time for the sport.
It really is.
Yeah.
So as you watch this match unfold,
Yeah.
keep in mind all the layers that we've discussed.
Above his layer.
Pay attention not just to the score, but to the subtle dynamics at play, the mental battle, the crowd's energy, and the narratives that are being shaped.
It's more than just a tennis match.
It is.
It's a microcosm of the sport itself.
This blend of power, skill, strategy, emotion, and maybe even a little bit of destiny.
Who knows? Maybe we're witnessing the beginning of a new chapter in tennis history.
It's possible. One thing's for sure.
What's that?
This is a match you don't want to miss.
Absolutely not.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep.
Sound the alarm. I'm coming up. We'll have a ball. I'm sweet like a buttercup. You're a puppy dog. Show them all what I'm made up. Strut down the hall. Won't stop till I get enough.